Welcome to the #Attitude Shield podcast, the true mental operating script rewriting program designed for those looking for a change from within. No more hype or sugar-coated promises. This is to-the-point guidance on how to change the way we think to grab the life we always wanted. Are you ready for the change? Now your host, David L. Parker.
Hey, welcome to #Attitudeshield. I am David L. Parker, and I am fired up that you're here. So let's talk about why. Why Attitude Shield? What is #Attitude Shield? How did #Attitude Shield come about? Who's it for? Why? Why are we here? What is the purpose? What is the meaning? Why are we here? What is it that we actually are talking about? And why are we talking? Why am I talking about it? I mean, really? Am I just running my mouth to run my mouth, or do I have a reason? First of all, I have an absolute admiration for self-employed, self-driven people. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have a job and be self-employed. If you're a person who has a business card and has to present themselves in a product to somebody else, and your success is based on how well you do that, that's my kind of people. And don't get me wrong, I like everybody, but that is my niche or niche, however you say it nowadays. If you make your living by producing something, by showing something, helping somebody better their situation by using what you offer, then you're exactly who I'm talking about. Talking with. Serial entrepreneurs is a beat up, overused word, but it is the word that I prefer. I myself have owned bars and restaurants and pieces of car lots, digital business companies, consulting companies, always trying to bring a solution to the market on an identified problem. So if you're doing that, then this is all about it. This is all about how do you talk to you? How do you literally continue when the world just wants to beat the crap out of you? I mean, I love it. There's 10,000 TikTok videos, every 2 hours or whatever it is. There's like this crazy amount of these little entertaining videos. Why is entertaining videos so big nowadays? Why is everybody going viral off of little stuff? Because we're looking to be entertained. Why are we looking to be entertained? Well, one, we're bored. And two, life is tough. It's rough. And it's just going to be that way. So we're looking for that quick distraction, that moment of escape, that little bit of something that says, you know what? I'm going to be all right. And I'm going to spend today being all right. And I'm going to laugh to that person. Well, what do you do when the laughter stops? What do you do when there's not another video to watch? You do realize that you'll never talk to anybody more than you talk to yourself. I mean, even when you're not using your mouth, verbally talking, your brain is thinking 75,000 random thoughts a day. That's quite the conversation going on. So I believe that the entrepreneur mindseted person, again, you might not have had the opportunity to open your own business. You may be treating your career as your own business. Let me tell you what, there ain't nothing wrong with it. That's fantastic. But to survive through it, you got to be able to put on this armor, a full suit of armor, combat multipliers. When I was in the military for 22 plus years, 61 months deployed overseas, everything we wore gear, everything from the boots to the iPro, to the helmet, to the, you name it. We put on this whole suit, this whole bit of equipment so we could go do our job. Well, #Attitude Shield is about putting on a whole suit of armor behind a shield that's going to stop the baloney, the nonstop negativity, the nonstop "no, you can't succeed" crap from coming into your world, from messing up your mindset, from making your day harder. I like to call myself my wife's professional brown noser. So this morning, I'm getting a cup of coffee and we're chatting. And she says to me, do you need anything? And I says, I have everything when I'm with you, dear. And she always smiles. I mean, we're talking, we just went past our 11th wedding anniversary. And I'm still brown nosing. I'm still saying how much I miss her. She'll text me, you need anything? And I'll say, just you. But I'm speaking, attitude shield. I'm talking about what it is I want my mind to remember, what it is I want to be going on in my world, how I want things to be moving forward, because that's what's important. Because again, everything I say is what I hear, because as I've said, and I will continue to say to you, you'll never, ever, ever, ever speak to anybody more than you speak to yourself. The message you convey to yourself is the most important. The message you convey to the people that you care about, the message you convey to the people you work with, the words you choose, you hear them all continuously. You can't get away. So I like to help people understand, because I learned it, that what we talk about, what we say, what we do reflects all the time. Now, why did I pick the word attitude shield? You know, that's a great question. But the bottom line is because those two words separate. Let me read the definition out of the dictionary. Attitude, a feeling or a way of thinking that affects a person's behavior. A way of thinking that affects a person's behavior. A positive attitude changes your attitude. I think the dictionary was being redundant there, right? Another part of it, a way of positioning the body or its parts, an erect attitude. He bowed in an attitude of respect. So it's not only, it's a way of thinking, but it's a way of holding yourself. It's a way of presenting yourself. You know, you've heard people say, well, I asked the waiter for a new spoon and all I got was attitude. Exactly. How we present ourselves. Now, shield. What is a shield? Well, the definition is a broad piece of defensive armor carried on the arm, right? Or someone or something that protects or defends, right? A healthy lifestyle could shield against preventable diseases, right? Well, I think we need to wear a full armor, but carry a big shield. And that's why I talk about in the earlier shows about forging your attitude shield. And that's why we talk about why there's 4 main spokes and then 6 inlays. But we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about why attitude shield? Why? Does anybody know why? Because I just told you, if your success is driven by what you do, by how you present yourself or a product, or, I mean, you could be a self-employed store owner. You can be many things, but I'm talking about you have to drive yourself. Now, do people who don't do that, people who fix your car, people who fly the airplane, do they not need an attitude shield? Of course they do. But I love, adore, respect, and have never-ending process of giving gratitude to those who are driven by self-success, right? Well, why is that? Well, it's sort of like the very simple fact to me that a stone is broken by the last stroke of the hammer, right? You ever heard the old comment about, well, where'd you find what you were looking for? Well, it was in the last place I looked. Wait, what? Of course it was in the last place you looked. Why would you look at a place after you found them? That's what I'm talking about. You got to understand that it's the end result that we're looking about, right? Now, just because, like we just took a wall down, we're expanding our kitchen, making it much more wide open. And when the board, took down the sheetrock and taking out the boards, and I'm banging on some of the hammer crowbar and some other ones, right? Just because the last swing of the hammer, the last prying of the crowbar popped the board loose, doesn't mean that the first use of a hammer or the first use of the crowbar to get this process started was useless. See, success is the result of continuous and persistent effort. If I want to take that wall down, but I walk in there and I literally just take a couple of whacks at it and walk away, is the wall coming down? Eventually, as long as I keep going back and taking another whack at it. So success is the result of continuous and persistent effort. Success comes at the end, not in the beginning, right? When people say to me, well, what would you do if you had to start over? It's that simple. You can strip me of everything I have. And I'll walk away and I'll go get it again, because it's not on me. It's in me. It's who I am. An entrepreneur can start over again and again and again because they know it's in them. It's within them. It's part of their operating script. It's part of how we're going to move forward, right? You can take it away. We're going to do it again. Done it. I remember standing on the side of the road one time, and I owned the leather jacket I was wearing and what was in the bag. Okay. You understand that something is in you, it becomes powerful. When you understand something is in you, it becomes unstoppable. And the hashtag Attitude Shield is all about recognizing that it's within you. I know it is. I can see it, right? To get started with the hashtag Attitude Shield, you got to throw away some words. You got to push some things away from yourself. Now, it would behoove you to come back and listen to the videos about belief and movement equals momentum, commitment, trackable plan, which is all the main 4 spokes of Attitude Shield. Because if you do those 4 things, no matter what you're doing, you're going to be successful. Now, there's a couple of things before and after. We're not going there. But I want you to throw away the comment, I can't do this mentality. Well, I can't. Well, how about replace with, I don't know how, but let's figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how I'm going to succeed at this or that, but I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how is powerful. I can't is devastating. Because you're right. If you say you can't, you're absolutely right. You're dead on the money. I couldn't tell you any more right. Now, if you say you can, if you say you're going to figure it out, you're halfway there. You've started the process. You started moving forward. Listen, one of my closest inner circle buddies, which is funny because 2 of my inner circle buddies are so opposite. One's an IT guy who understands all this computer stuff like damn. And the other one, he's a mechanical guy who's fixed restaurant stuff his whole life and worked really hard. But anyway, the mechanical guy, he has always said, well, I don't understand computers. I don't get it. Got him to change to I'm going to figure this out. And it's fun to watch how excited he gets in his digital business company, because now the technology is becoming his friend. It's becoming an asset. It's no longer a tripping point. Why? Because he changed his words. Words have power. I'm telling you, they're powerful. They're powerful beyond my ability to explain it. Now, listen, Attitude Shield guarantees that you're going to have people that doubt how far you can go. It guarantees you're going to get naysayers. It guarantees, because you are going to be speaking what you're doing and where you're going, as if you're already there. It's called manifestation. Some of the biggest names in the world, Tony Robbins, Dean Grazio, John Maxwell, they talk about manifestation. I want to talk about it real quick, as in just talking about where you're going. You know, when I first started selling cars years and years and years ago, and I loved the car business, it has changed a lot nowadays. Matter of fact, another one of my inner circle people down there in Springtown, Texas, he buys cars for dealerships. Once you get in the car business, it can get in your blood. Of all the businesses that I've done, that one I probably missed the most. I don't know. It's probably a combination of that or the restaurants, because cooking for people and watching their face light up when they have a great meal, that's pretty addicting too. Anyway, I knew a guy, I worked with a guy, I talked with a guy a lot who was a mediocre car salesman. And he would, we'd be hanging out and he'd be like, yeah, I'm having an all right month. And I'm like, why do you say that? Well, because I'm having an all right month. Why don't you start saying you're having the best month you've ever had? We said, because I'm not. I said, you're right. He was like, what? And I'm like, listen, if you keep talking about how you're having an all right month, it's going to end all right. If you talk about how you're having the best month ever, no matter what happens, you do better. And he just sort of blinked at me, blink, 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 blink. What? So I said, start speaking out loud. It's your best month ever. Now, fast forward a couple of years. Can you have the best month ever every month? Why not? Who says you can't? What's the reality? What's the quantification? What's the numbers? That will be yet to see. But he continues to speak that today. The guy went from a car salesman, he's all the way up to general sales manager, of the dealership. And every month they're having the best month ever. Why? Because they say so. Now, when I was telling you that people are going to doubt you, they're going to be naysayers. They're going to say, well, you can't do that. I knew you when you were in high school, and I knew you when you were hanging out with Betty Boo. So what? I've talked about it in other shows. Remember that people who naysay is because they knew you at a different time, and that's the version of you that they can control, and they've got that hung on the wall, and that's who you are to them. But those people that are doubting, I want you to go so far you can't hear them anymore. Just outwork them, outperform them, outdo everything. Just do it. Now, listen, as you do it, I want you to focus on what you're grateful for. See, gratitude has attitude in it. Great attitude, gratitude. All right. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you're always in a better mood. I love to say, if you want to have an argument with your significant other, you have to do it naked. Why? Because it changes your attitude. Everything is about your attitude. Everything. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what your education is. I don't care what your situation is. It's all connected to attitude. There's no way around it. So when you focus on what you're grateful for, right? The human brain is completely, this machine, the most amazing machine known to man, the most complex machine in the universe, and you have the most complex machine in the universe in your skull, is incapable. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. You can't do it. You can't be grateful for the opportunity to do something and be angry at something at the same time. You will get so confused. You'll be like, no input, right? So always be grateful, and you will improve your quality of life. It's guaranteed. I can't make you any other guarantees, right? Now listen, entrepreneur, listen, driver. You cannot see your reflection in boiling water. When you're moving so fast, you can't see your reflection. I want you to remember that you also can't see truth in a state of anger. Don't make decisions based on anger. Make decisions based on information. Now, again, we were talking about the naysayers are going to come. Oh, why do you listen to that podcast? Or why did you go and buy that next book? I mean, look, do I have books? All the time. Here's the latest one I'm reading, right? I love reading a book. I'm writing the #Attitudeshield book. Maybe you'll be one of the first to get it. But what people don't like about where you're going, what they hate, is their own lack of self-control. And they see you becoming or being successful at something that they can't do because they can't control themselves. Why? Because they're so emotionally driven. Like the difference between respond and react. When you respond, you think about something. You're pondering, responding, pondering. The other half of that word. Remember, I said there's power in words. You're pondering how you're going to give something back. React means to do it again. React twice. React. Boom, boom. Why? That's what people have. That's why they react to you in this way. As you become successful, as you become focused, you know what? You might not be successful for a while. Remember, it's the last swing of the hammer that breaks the rock. It's the last pry on the crowbar that pops the board. It's not the first one. So somebody is going to naysay you from the time that you're thinking about picking up a hammer, metaphorically, They're going to naysay you from the beginning of, you know what, I'm going to get more successful. I'm going to get paid more than some hourly stipend. When you start thinking that way, they're going to jump in there. And what those people do is they want to control you. They want you to be that version of who they think you are. What they despise and why they become your naysayer is they despise your strength. You have to be, it's a superpower. Being willing to put your success on the line on you is a superpower. And the naysayers are going to talk to you about it. What they hold in uttermost contempt is your refusal to be controlled like they are. People who have a limit on what they can do not like the fact that you do not. If you are a self-driven success person, if you are a entrepreneur mindset, whether you own a company or you're doing the best you can in that job and career and making it kick it, I get a kick out of people being successful. There's nothing wrong with having a career. I've told you that. It's the mindset that we're talking about. People get so mad. The naysayers come out of the woodwork because they want to have you be controlled. They want you to do the 9 to 5. They want you to be in the box they want you to be in. So these naysayers, they're going to be there. An Attitudeshield refuses to allow you to be in the box. No going in the box. Attitudeshield says you're going to succeed. Attitudeshield demands that you push through their stuff. Now I want to talk right on the end here about one of my favorite people to read about. I love to read about Marcus Aurelius and, of course, Aristotle, Socrates. But one of the things about Aristotle that I used to have it printed on the wall in my office, not here in the Black Hills, but when I lived in Colorado Springs, and it says there's only one way to avoid criticism. Do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. You ever gone to a celebration of life? Some people call it a funeral. And they talk about, well, he was a steady man. And they really don't have a lot to say. The guy never got criticized. Why? Because he did nothing. You can have a very busy life, working for an employer, punching the time clock, working to retirement, sitting on your porch, drinking beer, saying, get off my lawn. And have that type of life. And you will receive no criticism for it. Because you didn't do anything. Think about it. Don't get all twisted about it. Think about it. Going along to get along is not singing your song at all. You're doing nothing, saying nothing, and you're being nothing. Attitudeshield, I want you to be more. I want you to be the best at whatever it is you're doing. If you're an insurance salesman, be the best insurance salesman. If you're a car salesman, be the best car salesman. If you're a doctor, be the best doctor. Whatever it is you're going to be the best. Do something. Earn some criticism. Earn it. Enjoy it. Criticism means you're doing something. If somebody's not saying, oh, I don't know why they do that stuff, well, the odds are it's because you ain't doing nothing. Attitudeshield says, do something about it.
You've been listening to Attitudeshield, your double dose of espresso for your attitude. Check us out on Facebook and on the web at www.attitudeshield.com. Again, thanks for spending this time with us. Between now and when we talk again, keep those shields up, eyes on the target, and always be moving towards your dreams.